This slide shows different parts of a while loop. Now, for the sake of convenience, I will stick to the same example, that is the racing example that we have represented with the Java program before. So here, if you notice to the while loop part only, that is this part, you will clearly see that, well, there are three different parts in a while loop. Now, first of all, in order to understand the part, we need to focus on this lap variable. So this lap variable, which basically controls the while loop, we call it a loop control variable. A loop control variable. So here in this program, lap is the variable which basically control the entire loop. It initializes the loop, it defines the condition of the loop, and it is being modified again and again and again to decide that whether the program will stay inside the loop or not. So that is why it is called loop control variable, or sometimes you can call it just loop variable. Now, if you notice to this while loop minutely, you will see that there are three different parts. The first part is the initialization of loop control variable. That is, what should be the initial value for the loop control variable. And in our case, we have initialized the lap to 0. That is our racing track at the beginning, or at the starting point, at the beginning of the race, you initialize the lap variable to 0. So that is initialization. What should be the initial value of the loop control variable? The next part is the condition. That is, how long should the while loop iterate? That is, what should be the condition based on the truth value of which condition these lines inside this while loop will keep on executing. If the value of the condition is true, the while loop will execute. If the value of the condition is false, the while loop will break. So this part is called condition, which comes right after the while keyword, in between this opening and closing parenthesis. So that's the second part, that is condition. Now there is a loop body. You can implement your own logic inside the loop. Here I just printed one single line, but it can be anything. Now the third part is modification part. That is how you are modifying the value of your loop control variable in the end of your iteration, end of each iteration. Now, in order to represent the racing example, we have incremented the lap variable by 1, but it can be any type of modification. It can be lap -1 also, if it suits the situation, or any type of arithmetic operations like division, or there can be any number also based on the situation. So any loop, there are three different types of three different parts. The first one is initialization, how the loop variable will be initialized, from which point of loop control variable you should start executing the loop, or you should enter the loop. Then the condition, which basically decides how long you are going to stay inside the loop. And the final part is the modification, how the loop control variable is being modified to move ahead in the loop and this modification can be any type of arithmetic operation. It does not need to be just increment. It can be decrement, it can be multiplication, division, based on the needs.